Hey world, what up? I've been telling you guys, I've told you guys from the jump, you guys should have been on LaMelo Ball from the jump. Ever since LaMelo Ball got drafted into the Eastern Conference in the number third pick with the Charlotte Hornets, I was excited that he got to not only go to the Eastern Conference, but he got to the Charlotte Hornets. That team I knew was a young team in the making that had a great fit. Their chemistry would be on point, and they would have a nice young potential of direction in the future. I don't know why a lot of NBA TV pundits and NBA fans overlook this. It is what it is when it comes to people. I saw the vision for the Charlotte Hornets. I didn't expect them to be this nice this season, even though they're at a 12 and 13 record, which is losing. But in the Eastern Conference, you can make a pretty much a top 7, top 8 seed, and you can get into the playoffs. As of right now, the Charlotte Hornets are in the playoff positioning in the standings. It is pretty early. Again, it's been a quarter of the NBA, maybe close to a third, somewhere in that mix. But the Charlotte Hornets right now are in a great, steady direction. LaMelo Ball pretty much has been as a six man for their team for the past 10 to 12 games starting off. LeVar Ball and pretty much everyone's been stating they want LaMelo Ball to pretty much get that starting position. Their head coach was easing him into it by pretty much working on the defensive end and having less turnovers. Now, there was injuries coming to Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham, which provided LaMelo Ball to have his debut as an NBA starter, filling in the point guard and shooting guard role against the Miami Heat. And ever since, LaMelo Ball has been a starter for the Charlotte Hornets. It's been 5 games as of right now that he's been a starter consecutively. He does have a 3-2 record being so, and the only two losses were against the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, the Philadelphia 76ers, and then the number one seed in the Western Conference, which is the Utah Jazz. Now, credit LaMelo Ball did have a season high 34 points against the Utah Jazz and that tough defensive team. He's catching a groove. He's always been confident ever since he's played overseas. He's played with grown men, and he's 6'8" as a point guard, crafty. He's not like his brother, Lonzo. Lonzo is more nonchalant and doesn't have a motor, doesn't have any passion or drive. Kind of like Ben Simmons, but LaMelo Ball, he's a dog. He goes out there. He'll shoot logo threes. He'll shoot from the outside. He'll do catch and shoot. He'll play in a team system. He'll sacrifice and be a six man and work his way up. I like the progression for LaMelo Ball. I've always stated he's going to be a star in this league. I didn't expect him to be this electric this soon. I knew it would be probably around 70% of right now, but he's been electric, man. I already knew he would give your team, high in assists. He would hook players up. Team chemistry be on 100. And he's a type of player you want to build your franchise with. He's an impact player for wins and to bring talent around him. So I'm excited that he's been flourishing as of so far. Nothing too surprising on my end. More shocking for the NBA world because they were really high on James Wiseman, let alone for Anthony Edwards and some players along those range. I was shocked LaMelo Ball. I wasn't shocked to win third because you already knew Anthony Edwards was talking with the Wolves. They wanted him, and then the Warriors, they didn't need a guard. They needed a center. But I was excited that Charlotte Hornets got LaMelo Ball. Again, they're going to be a playoff team. I don't know about this season, but I always stated in the next season or two, they'll be in the playoffs. And their talent with P.J. Washington, Devontae Graham, they're probably going to trade away Terry Rozier in a year or so, maybe to the Clippers or a contender this season or next. But I already know you want to build your team with LaMelo Ball, P.J. Washington, Miles Bridges, Devontae Graham. Those 4 young players right now have young potential, and they're going to be great. Gordon Hayward is a side experiment because they have the money, they have the cap flexibility. So bring in another scorer. I think pretty much they need to fill out a center slot as they continue within the season. Cody Zeller's fine. He's been with them for a couple seasons, but you really want to build someone else because you already know what I'm talking about. But I've been talking too much on this intro. Let's jump into here on ESPN and let's give a little more, LaMelo.
I don't want to run out of time with Jay. Jay, I do want to get your take on Derrick Rose to the Knicks. Some people thought Derrick Rose was going to end up with a team like the Lakers, a contender that was looking for bench scoring. Instead, reunites with Tom Thibodeau. How do you feel this third time around is going to work?
Yeah, and listen, Derrick Rose has been pretty much on 4 NBA franchises. Been on Chicago to New York to Minnesota, Detroit, now back to the New York Knicks. This is only going to last until the end of this season. Who knows? Maybe if the New York Knicks, if they don't make the playoffs, they don't get anywhere near that, then they may want to look to do something with Derrick Rose. But they're pretty much going to keep him till the end of the season as it is. I wish Derrick Rose would have gone to a contender like the Clippers, the Bucks, maybe the 76ers, somewhere in that range. But when it comes to it, I mean, his first debut game, he played against the Miami Heat when he was on the Knicks. They lost by 2 points. Derrick Rose, again, he was still looking nice out there. He's a great sixth man for any team and franchise. There is an abundance amount of guards for the New York Knicks they have to address with Emmanuel Quickley. You do have Austin Rivers. You have Frank Ntilikina, Elfrid Payton, and Derrick Rose. Those are 5 guards on your team. They'll have to address that. But besides from that, Derrick Rose looked fine. He looked great, as always and usual for the last 2 seasons. I just need him to go to the contender. That's it.
Well, I agree with your point earlier this morning. I think the infrastructure who the Knicks have around is better suited for D Rose when it's World Wide West, in company. I think there's familiarity there for him. And after reading his post, man, I don't know if you guys read his post on IG, yes, but he's extremely grateful for it. So, look, I think that the way he's playing right now, I would love to see him inserted into this offense. I don't know if that doesn't cure a lot of the Knicks, issues. I think, look, their team hopefully can make a playoff push, especially with the way you're having this kind of playoff playing game for the last couple of seeds to get that last seed. So,
and real quick, and I've stated this, the New York Knicks are not going to make the playoffs. They had a nice start. They did. They were around a 6th through an 8th seed. Now they're dropping down to 11th or 12th, around a 10-15 record. But if you're the New York Knicks, you had to make that trade for Derrick Rose. You brought in Tom Thibodeau, who's a veteran type coach in this league. The franchise and organization has always been toxic. There's never been no boundary, no backbone, and no structure. Bringing in Tom Thibodeau actually provided that, and then as well as you brought in Austin Rivers, a very respectable veteran type player who's had a great season for them. Taj Gibson, they re-signed and brought back for free agency. They use him as a veteran. Now you bring in Derrick Rose on your franchise. It puts everything more in a stable environment because you do have young pieces that can grow with no more toxicity in place, a true direction and discipline. So for Julius Randle, he's going to be an all-star this season. R.J. Barrett has had a great bounce-back season from his freshman rookie season. So you have those 2. And then Kevin Knox, he's going to be on the trade rumors. Expect him to probably be shipped out. He's probably not going to be in their future plans. They let go of Dennis Smith Jr., who wasn't getting minutes, didn't fit the team. And that's good if you're the Detroit Pistons. You get a nice young stud with potential. Dennis Smith Jr. was always nice on the Dallas Mavericks. It's just unfortunate with coaching and different play styles, rosters, and different teams. So the Detroit Pistons, they got a nice young stud with Dennis Smith Jr., and the New York Knicks bring in Derrick Rose, another nice veteran who these young players can look up to, let alone they'll be respectable. I still don't expect them to make the playoffs. They will not.
I think it hopefully helps. I don't know if it's a long-term answer, though, but I like the move for D Rose, and I hope it works out for him, honestly. He's a talent, man. He's an extreme talent. He's battled through a lot of adversity. Kind of fits in the whole Tibbs mantra to begin with, their relationship in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how it works. I'm not sure if he's going to get to play tonight. I think they're waiting on Dennis Smith Jr.'s physical first, to be clear him. So anybody, Knicks fans that are wondering, is he going to play tonight in Miami? Right now, that is still uncertain.
He did, and they lost. But still a nice performance by the Knicks.
Alan, can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
I am so happy last night I watched LaMelo Ball finally get a damn start. 27, 10, and 7.
He's been.
He got to start. Just unleash him, man. Let that kid do what he does because he is a hooper. He's the best ball brother as there is, and he actually might even become the social media superstar that we thought Zion Williamson was going to be, but actually has a complete skill set.
And LaMelo Ball, I've always said this, he's going to be a future star. Everything's in the making. I mean, he played overseas with grown men. He's crafty. He has a high basketball IQ. He's 6'8" as a point guard who can shoot, who has a motor, who's a dog, who's confident, and will get in the lane. He'll take you from 3. Playing alongside with them, he always looks to pass first. He wants to get his teammates going, and especially on the fast break, it's electric when he throws these lobs to Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, etc., etc. So everything's always been good for LaMelo Ball. I've always stated he's nothing like his brother Lonzo, which is a good thing. And yes, he is the best Ball brother out there. LeAngelo will not make the league. He will not play an NBA game in his career. I doubt it. He made the G League for some training and all that, but that was really just a side story. Lonzo Ball is going to be kind of bounced around team to team. Hopefully, Lonzo Ball can get shipped off. If he doesn't stay with the Pelicans, which I hope he stays with the Pelicans, but if he doesn't, hopefully a team like Chicago could really use Lonzo Ball and build a team surrounding him. And this is more on Lonzo Ball because he doesn't have a motor. He's kind of like Ben Simmons from time to time, who just plays nonchalant and doesn't want to score, doesn't want to shoot, and there's really no passion in him. There's no dog. LaMelo Ball is the opposite, and that's why within him, he's going to be Rookie of the Year, which I predicted beginning the season. And not only from that, but LaMelo Ball could potentially take this team to the playoffs. Who knows? We have to see if the Miami Heat and the Toronto Raptors can stay afloat or come back. Because the Raptors are now back in the 8th seed in the East after a terrible start. They may trade away Kyle Lowry. There's rumors on that. If you're looking into the Miami Heat, I mean, they got this win over the New York Knicks, but besides from that, they're around a 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. It's not a good look for them. But Jimmy Butler's out there. He's finally healthy. He's finally clear from COVID. We'll see if Miami can bounce back like that. The Hornets, though, they're in an uptrend, and they're a consistent team. They're very respectable. Because LaMelo Ball was a six-man. Now he's starting for them, and they have a 3-2 record with him starting. He's catching a groove. He's getting more minutes. He got a career high in points. He's being consistent. So good things to see with the Hornets, good things to see with LaMelo. Maybe they need to find another trade out there to really cook and boost them up.
Love him, yeah. And you know what? The thing about him that I think you like the most, and I loved watching his clips as a player, his high school clips, and also when he played pro for a little bit. I just loved you could just see, even with the bad shooting, he had great feel. But then he did interviews pre-draft, and I got so turned off, like, oh, don't be this guy, right? Like, that's the one part where I got, and his kind of just his arrogance in the answers. But then you watch him play with the Hornets, and you hear what his team, like, did you see what Malik Monk said about him? How everybody's mood's up, and he's just happy. Like, he loves the game. It's
Bingo. What did I just state a minute or two ago? Lonzo Ball doesn't seem like he loves the game. LaMelo, you can feel the energy.
Genuine, and it permeates the team. That's a guy like that is so valuable to have. It can change a franchise, and that's what you're getting right now to him.
And wait till LaMelo Ball in his career in his prime when he's 27, when he builds up muscle around 10 to 15 pounds, maybe even 20 or so. LaMelo Ball's skinny right now. He's thin. But once he picks up some muscle, watch out. I mean, that kid is going to be electric. And who knows if he's still growing or not, because Jason Tatum grew and he's around 6'10", allegedly, right now. Ben Simmons is around 6'11", 7 feet. You know, LaMelo Ball right now being 19 years of age. If he can grow up to 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", geez, watch out. But we're ending it off here. It's just a quick little section on Derrick Rose to the Knicks and LaMelo Ball as a starter for the Charlotte Hornets on an uptrend. I'm excited. You know, LaMelo Ball has a bright future ahead of himself if he keeps himself in the right direction. And LeVar Ball, his father, keeps his sons in check. They have manners. They understand how to present themselves. And that's the same thing that's been going on. So good thing for the Ball brothers. LaMelo Ball, star of the shine. Let's see what happens as the season progresses and pretty much within him how he can take his team possibly to the playoffs.